The International Air Transport Association, IATA, has disclosed that the price of jet fuel has continued to increase in recent weeks, with its price increasing by 70% since the start of 2021. According to IATA, the increase in jet A1 price is mounting pressure on airlines' operating costs and threatening the industry's profitability. IATA further stated in its Airlines Financial Monitor, which was released yesterday, that jet fuel price continued to trend upwards in recent weeks as economic activity resumed around the world and supply remained tight. Going by the IATA report, passenger revenues have dropped by 34% in third quarter of 2021 compared with the pre-crisis third quarter 2019, while cargo revenues have risen by 65% over the same period amidst increased cargo demand. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has said about $450 billion worth of new refinery projects and expansion of existing units would be invested in Nigeria and other developing nations. It disclosed that the investment were part of the estimated $1.5 trillion that would be invested in the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry between 2021 and 2045. The Secretary General, OPEC, Sanusi Barkindo, made this known yesterday at the African Energy Week in Cape Town, South Africa. Barkindo further stated that in terms of the downstream investment, a total of $1.5 trillion will be expended during the period 2021 to 2045. He added that creating stability in the oil market is needed in attracting the required levels of investment, which had been one of the primary motivations behind OPEC's collaborative efforts with 10 non-OPEC countries under the Declaration of Cooperation umbrella. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has kicked off the first ever rain-fed wheat program in the country, which aims to reduce the importation of the commodity by 60% in 2 years. The initiative is also expected to save the country $2 billion annually in foreign exchange. Mr. Godwin Emefiele stated this during the unveiling ceremony for the Nigerian Brown Revolution, which is a central bank wheat value chain intervention. Emefiele said following the successes in the Anchor Borrowers Program, ABP, the Apex Bank has decided to extend the gains recorded in the rice and maize value chains to wheat production. He also mentioned that the plan was to eliminate wheat importation or reduce it to a marginal contributor to the country's total food import bill, adding that the wheat program would benefit over 150,000 farmers. The CBN boss said that the program would be implemented in 15 states on about 180,000 hectares of land. The federal government has officially launched the Opening Extractives Program, OEP, a global 5-year scheme to unveil the real owners of assets in Nigeria's oil, gas, and mining sectors. The OEP will be jointly implemented by the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, IATA, and Open Ownership. The scheme was introduced to stimulate progress of beneficial ownership transparency in selected resource-rich countries. The government further stated that the program was part of the ongoing reform in the extractive industries. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, who delivered the keynote during the event organized by the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NEITI, in Abuja, said it would mitigate corruption and money laundering in the sectors. And despite being the largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa with large oil, gas, hydro, and solar resources, limitations in the power sector still constrains growth in Nigeria. Although the country has a huge potential to generate 12,522 megawatts of electric power from existing plants, however, it is only able to dispatch around 4,000 megawatts, which is insufficient for a country of over 200 million people. Earlier in the day on Business Breakfast, CEO Paysola Sydney Akimoladun spoke on the challenges in the power sector while emphasizing the need to explore renewable energy.
Nigeria has always been an oil and gas, producing country, I remember the president was saying in COP's conference a few days ago that we are more of a gas producing than, you know, an oil producing. And I really don't understand what he's trying to say there. But what it means is that there are a whole lot of resources that are being wasted. You and I know that in this country, gas has been flared over the years. And this is just pure wastage of natural resources. So you're asking now that what do we do, you know, to position ourselves? One thing is, it's clear. Africa will not move into renewable energy, whether it's electric cars or solar or some other sources, in the near future very soon, because we're still going to be utilizing fossil fuels. So, and you see our politicians are not even like giving up on that, because it's still the mainstay of, you know, how money comes and is generated into the country. So we'll still see a lot of fossil fuel usage and all of that. We'll still be using cars that are run by diesel and petrol over the years. And so there's room for more refineries to be built. We know there's one in the Lekki zone built by the private investor, Alhaji Dangote. There's a need for that. And so those kind of investments they're talking about, whether it's in the setup of new refineries, the refurbishment of existing ones, or providing logistic structures for the downstream on how, you know, we still talk about tankers moving petrols and diesel all over the road, when in countries like in Russia and all of that, these things go through pipelines, you know. So we need to look at all those kind of structures and see how we can take and access those funds to develop that sector. And then also look at the transition, you know, just like the way the other parts of the world are doing,